In short, yes. Although the movement feels slightly bad and a bit slippery, the map UI is atrocious and the combat is okay at best. This game is still by far the best Middle-earth simulation, and not only that, but by far the best video game world I've ever played in. There is also a free-to-play overhaul happening in April at some point, which will expand the content up to level 95, which is probably the best time to start playing. For this video, I'll be comparing this game to classic WoW slash TBC as it still retains the old school classic MMO feel, and this game is somewhat of a WoW clone gameplay wise. So with the TLDR out of the way, let's get into it. Starting with movement, this is short and simple, but this game's movement, like I said earlier, is kinda bad. Your character feels a bit floaty, strafing has a delay, and sometimes it feels like you're sliding around on ice. That being said, it manages to get the job done, and it's not so bad that it makes you angry constantly. It's an inoffensive type bad. As for the combat, it's a traditional tab target MMO combat, but it has some sort of queue system. At least my champion class does. I'd say it's mediocre. It's a bit slow feeling and not all of my abilities feel unique or impactful, and comparing it to 2006 WoW, it loses hard in terms of polish, general feel, and fluidity. But WoW has always been the gold standard of MMO polish, and it's hard to top in this regard. But in no means do I dislike the combat. It's still somewhat fun and satisfying AoEing down mobs as my champions, and all of the other thugs I'm playing with have said their classes are cool and they don't mind the combat too much either. The class design in this game is really unique. Although the talent trees are kind of lame, classic WoW's talents suck balls as well, so we'll let this one slide. This game has some extremely unique ideas in terms of classes. For instance, the main healer is a minstrel, which is a type of bard class that you use various instruments to buff and heal the group, and what the spell does depends on which stance you're currently in. There is also another class which plays like Invoker from Dota 2. They were really creative with the gameplay types, which I'm a huge fan of for this game. All of the classic WoW classes have a standard gameplay feel with no gimmicks like the ones I described. You push the button and do something. But a lot of the lotro classes have a mini game built in, which I'm a huge fan of. There are still the more traditional push button do action classes like Champion, but overall I'd say the class design is much more unique and takes more risks. As for the quests, I'll keep this short. Aside from the main story quest, which is pretty wicked sick and wicked LARP, they are entirely WoW clone quests where you have to collect 64 assholes. Fortunately, they're designed more like TBC as opposed to vanilla WoW, wherein you get 10 quests all in the same area and you complete them all in one trip. And not only that, but you don't really have to do all of the quests, because the main story gives you quite a lot of XP, so you can end up skipping a lot of the boring, bore asshole quests. And the main story is super cool. It has you playing a sideline role in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings books and the universe, I'd really suggest reading the dialogue for the main story and playing along just for that. The crafting system in this game is much better than WoW, and the gear you can make with it is usually way better than similar level questing gear, so it actually feels worth your time doing it as you level. There is also a cool mastery system for the crafting in this game, which if leveled up allows you the chance to roll higher quality versions of the same items, and that random chance can be further enhanced by using various items such as brimstones or flax fibers. I'm only level 32 as of making this video, so I haven't seen what it's like at endgame. But I've heard the crafting gear remains super powerful, which is smart. If you make a fucking crafting system, the gear should be better than random loot you get off mobs and quests. I've never understood this in games like WoW, including Classic WoW, which have the absolute worst fucking professions of all time. Like, they're so dog shit in that game. We've been having a lot of fun as a guild group, maxing our professions out and crafting gear for everyone, and it doesn't feel like a complete waste of time, as the gear you make is very powerful. Aside from Thorin's Gate, the world in this game is a 10 out of 10. Like, I think these devs must have been methed out or something when they were designing this shit. Eriador alone blows all of Azeroth out of the water, along with every other MMO in terms of sheer scale, detail, and geographic sensibility, and I have still yet to explore all the zones in Eriador, let alone the rest of the world. Like, I can't explain enough how wicked sick epic LARP this world is. The settlements are all massive and sprawl throughout the zones. The Shire and Breeland are just massive with settlements all over the zones, and Trollshaw is probably the coolest looking forest I've ever been in, not to mention finding Rivendell at the end of it. And as you're exploring these zones, you'll stumble into familiar places such as Weathertop or that river that Arwen summoned a massive wave to blow out the Nazgul. I'm absolutely stoked to get to level 50 with the boys and explore all of Angmar, including the raids and dungeons. Did I also mention the game features the best player housing system I've used in an MMO, and it also has some wicked sick, cool, epic LARP instruments that you can play various songs on.
Let's do it. What are we done?
How do,
Well, everybody, you can come up here and
so I
just
type slash music, and then what do I press to...
1 through 8.
Oh, I don't have an instrument.
I still have like 6 on.
Oh yeah, I can give you one.
That sounds like shit.
Yes. Are we having too much fun?
Now, after raving and chilling the world design of this game, it's time to roast it again. The fucking UI is dog shit. Like, some of it's okay, but like being able to combine bags is a nice quality of life feature. But my god, the world map is the worst world map I think I've ever used in any video game. You get sort of used to it after a while, but it's absolutely terrible. Like, there's no excuse. Not only is the functionality of it bad, but it's hard to tell what the fuck a zone is going to look like. You go from this colored view of the map, which feels more detailed and realistic, and then randomly you'll be in some shitty parchment paper view which is a jarring art style change. There's also an infuriating 2-second delay when trying to see what an item in your inventory is, and it makes comparing gear absolutely seem. The inventory also fills up so goddamn fast if you're keeping crafting mats, and it's an absolute nightmare to manage. I really wish they would fix these issues. A world map overhaul in functionality and design alongside fixing this retarded delay upon hovering over an item, as well as maybe a specific tab for crafting gear that's extra to normal bag space, would go a long way in improving the new player experience. Then for the cash shop. Honestly, the cash shop is pretty egregious at times. Although there aren't direct pay to win items, the amount of convenience shit in there is comical.
The world would be shutting down.
Shutting down 3 hours?
Yeah, it's maintenance.
Oh man.
This world will be
How long is it
shutting
gonna be
down
down
in 3
for?
hours and not coming back up. Go to the lotro store and pay for it.
Where the fuck?
You can
Can I-
sell things at like a grocer or like a merchant. You just press on the sell tab.
I don't see any.
You can fucking travel. You can travel to like the quest return using mithril coins.
Yeah.
God.
Dude, that's so good, man.
It's like the pay to win shit's literally just for like lazy fucking losers.
Fortunately, I had 1,000 lotro coins because I made an account in 2018 and played a bit. But you can do deeds to earn the coins, and the only really mandatory items are the 95 coin mount skill, which you'll have the coins to buy by the time you're level 20, and the universal crafting kit. For the longest time, this cash shop has been self-sabotaging the game between the confusing quest pack system and blatant in-your-face monetization. I'm very happy the devs decided to get a brain and simplify the system, allowing you to access all of the content up to level 95. How they thought this quest pack shit was a good idea is beyond me. Like, honestly, like, it's fucking retarded to have this in the game, ruining it for this long. But overall, we've been having a hella chill, hella lo-fi, comfy, wicked sick, epic chillachini time playing this game, and I 100% recommend you play it when the free-to-play revamp is here. Even if you're solo. If you're a fan of Middle-earth, I'd really suggest picking up the game to casually and slowly progress around reading the main story and taking in the zones. It's worth playing the games just to see how epic the world is alone. But yeah, that ends the video. The boys and I are planning on playing this game for a good while, hoping to lock out at 50 and do all of the Angmar content before progressing to the Mines of Moria, which is the level 60 expansion zone. Playing this way will provide a massive amount of content, and it will be wicked sick epic-chini to experience it all. I might make some more videos on this game if I can be fucked. We'll see. But with that, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that shit. If you've made it this far, drop a lot of the rangs in the comments, and until next time, later.